This video is sponsored by Wing Technology, your ultimate flight sim hardware solution.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. For today's valued viewer request we've got from Dan. Cap, I see you've made a vid investigating line of sight in DCS. That's what we're watching here. Big thorough test, 50-minute test, testing all of the different possibilities. What can I hide behind? Can AI see me? Can humans see me? Blah, 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 blah. And then the results at the end. Can you do the same for radar and electro-optical systems? Investigate all objects. So what we've got here, if I try and draw your attention, is the list done so far. Do the following objects block line of sight? Well, line of sight of what? So in this case, we're just talking about, you know, photons and the optical receiving of them. It could also be radar and the detection of that. And it could also be energy on the IR spectrum, so electro-optical, heat. So we've got the different types of objects we can test. Terrain, hills, you know, like this green stuff here, not the trees. The trees are objects. Mountains, just basic terrain. Next, map objects. So these are things, great if I just stop there, in fact. Infrastructure, like the bridge is a map object. That pylon is a map object. The tree is a map object. Those lights are a map object. These buildings are a map object. Next, static objects. So static objects like buildings that have been placed in the mission editor by humans. So they can't move, but they were placed there by humans. They can be placed in different places, not attached to the map per se. And finally, dynamic objects. Anything that could move. An aeroplane, a ship, a tank, whatever. Okay? Here is the data so far. In the optical spectrum, we've got human visible, terrain, map objects, static objects, and dynamic objects. Everything blocks what a human can see in DCS. That's, you know, it's obvious. Next, what the AI can see. The AI does not work like a human. It works completely differently. It has to simulate what it can see by line of sight checks and so on. So in the light spectrum, terrain does block an AI's visibility, quote unquote. Map objects do. So this is what this video proves. The bridge, the pylon, the trees, houses that are a part of the map, and so on, block. Static objects, I never got around to testing, so we'll go and try that. And dynamic objects do not. So if I put my helicopter behind a ship, moving or not moving, he can see through you, okay? They don't perform line of sight checks on the light spectrum in DCS. And then we're just going to move it over to the other spectrums, on the IR spectrum here and on the radar spectrum there. Test all of the different objects, see what creates a shadow and what doesn't. We will start with, I don't know, radar, why not? And let's go and get some data. I am a SA-15 here. I've got a radar, I can't see RC. He's the other side of that building, but he's not taking off. RC, take off and stay that side of the building, please.
All right.
Don't have to be particularly high.
Any altitude you want?
No, just as long as it considers you airborne.
Okay. I am in the air.
Well, I can't see you. I'm just going to zoom my scale in.
Wait, you want me on the other side?
Just stay there. Just roughly
Oh,
what?
I see you.
Roughly what? Oh, there you are. Hello, RC. Well, that's weird because I can't see you. Even though I can see you visually, but let's not get annoyed about that. Do you want to offset to your left a little bit so you're way out of the building's catchment? Let's see if I can see you then. I wonder if this is a pulse Doppler radar and it doesn't see static objects. I wonder if that's the reason. Try coming towards me. Let's see if I can pick you up. There you are. Yeah, it's a towards problem. Okay, not a problem. I now need you to go away a bit and come towards me when the building's in the way. So you need to get your line of sight set so the building's in the way and come towards me so the pulse Doppler effect radar will function.
Okay.
That's a lot of responsibility there, RC.
So I'm going to be behind the building?
Yep.
I'm coming towards you.
Yay, it works. Okay, I cannot see you. And if at some point you can pop out the side there and I can see you. Right, it works. Beautiful, well done. I was going to test it with an aeroplane radar as well, but I think it's going to get a little bit too difficult as we did with pulse Doppler. I think that's good enough for us, RC.
Okay.
I'm going to fill in my cell. Okay, now I'm going to do EO. I'm going to switch over to this EO guy. RC, I need you to go behind the building now, please. Just slowly work your way behind the building. I don't need you moving backwards. No, you're not, RC. You're not behind the building.
I'm not?
Staring
right
at you.
I'm behind the building, aren't I?
Oops. Right, so over you go. And then, in theory, the tone should disappear. The lock should disappear. Yes! Works! Well done, Wagner! Okay. Another one done. Okay, valid viewers, we're just getting RC in a Huey now. What we've got here is AI controlled this time. We've got an IR system there. It does actually have a radar guided bit as well for the gun, I think. We've got a manual optically controlled device there, and we've got a radar controlled device there in that it does radar ranging. Therefore, it will point to the target. If we know that it's got a radar lock, that will fire at the target if it's got an IR lock, and that will fire at the target if it can see the hostile visually. Okay, RC. Okay, well, we can see, so far, none of them can see you. Can you now hover behind the building? Hover behind the building. Yeah. Make sure none of them see you. So they're all running line of sight checks at the moment, optically, radar, and IR, and none of them can see them, so they're all being broken by the building.
And off the ground behind the building.
Right, now when you're ready, pop out to one side and expect the worst. I just want to see the optical, IR, and radar will suddenly be able to track you and then lose you again when you move back in.
Okay, moving out from the building.
There you are. Radar's online. Radar ranging is pointing at you. The IR has found you. Optical hasn't. Yeah, and even optical's found you. Right. You may want to go back inside, RC.
I got hit, I think.
You think you got hit?
Yeah, all right.
Now stay there. I just want to watch what these devices do. So hover on the hover, but stay behind the building, please.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Just keep doing that.
Am I invincible?
Yeah. Yes, you're invincible.
Oh.
Okay, he's packed up. The radar's packed up, and the optical's packed up. So that was an easy test, RC. We've tested there. The AI, the visual lock, is checked. The radar lock AI is checked for line of sight, and the IR is checked for line of sight for map destructible but otherwise static buildings. Out you go, please, RC. Okay, valid viewers. This time we're doing user-placed static objects. So this is not a dynamic object. It can never move. It can never fly. This building we're looking at, but I can place it in different places, and it's an interesting concept, and I really don't know what to expect. So, at the moment, RC is on the ground. Let's just give a few seconds for these guys to warm up, because they're AI controlled at the moment. When you're ready, RC, I need you to get airborne, but stay within the silhouette of the tech combine, which I know is not going to be that easy, but just do it.
Okay. Just do it. Okay, Mr. Nike.
When I ask you to come out to the side, when I ask you to come out to the side rather than above, because those chimneys will pollute our findings. One thing I don't like is corrupt data.
Airborne.
Right, they have no interest in you. Slip out to the side, please.
Okay.
Slip quite far out so they will get an LOS. Greta does hate pollution. Right, come on, boys. Oh, they're coming alive, RC. Just suck it up, because you've got to stay there and take your data. Okay, optical. Oh, even the IR's going. And the radar's, the radar's going. Okay, pop back in, please, RC. And stay in, but stay airborne. Oh, the quad barrel went for one. Yowza. Okay.
All right.
Now, it's going to take a few seconds, because the scripting is, relatively simple. It's going to take a while for them to lose their lock. So just be patient. I imagine in about 10 seconds they'll lose their lock and reset.
God, the textures are bad on this thing.
Oh, it really needs updating. How hard can it be to update that? I could do that. Okay, they've all reset. Proof of concept done. When you're ready, can you please pop out to the side and airborne? I'm going to see if I can get an EO lock on you, and then when I do, I'll tell you to go back inside. Perfect. Back in, please. Beautiful. I'm going to quickly jump into the radar. Okay, I'd like you to fly towards me, but blocking, and blocking the thing, and then at the last minute pull out to the side, and then either go forwards and backwards. I want to prove that I can't see you behind the thing and can see you when you're outside of the thing.
Moving.
Okay.
And you're going to pop out.
Yep, when you're ready, pop out to a side. Just make sure you're going backwards or forwards longitudinally so I can pick you up on my pulse Doppler.
I am moving.
You're moving? I'm very proud of you, RC. Right, I need you forwards or backwards longitudinally.
I am.
I'm currently notching.
Oh.
You're notching my radar so it can't see you.
I am fine.
So just come towards my Victor like that.
Hang on, let me go around this thing.
Don't worry about him.
Alright.
Alright, here he comes. There, we got him! Lovely. He doesn't like you, does he, RC? Doesn't like you. Right, that's all those concepts tested. I am going to go and fill out the chart and stand by. RC, you're so violent. You tried to hit him, didn't you? Okay, valued viewers, I think I know the answer to this already, but that is a real dynamic ship. It's movable. Ooh. And what's happening, RC? What are you doing?
The ship's shooting me.
Yes, that's a problem. How you go, RC? Come on, stop showing off. Welcome back, valued viewers. We can only apologise for RC showing off, but my theory is that being a dynamic ship, these guys are going to see right through it. And as soon as you take off and hide behind it, they're going to blast you from the sky.
Okay.
So, right, just take off and hover, but not very high, because obviously this is not, it's only 1 story, 2 stories high or something. So just, if I can see you, then you're doing something wrong, basically. In theory, I reckon these guys should see you. Because I've tested ships before. Optically.
Get over the water here so I have some more room.
And
Okay, yeah, I'm good. I'm up.
Yeah. That's a bit weird that they're not seeing you. So, try moving outside of the ship, either above or sideways.
Pop up.
Yeah, maybe they've changed it based on... I wonder if they've changed it based on my video. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be my claim to fame. Oh, and they're seeing you now. Look at that. Zap, 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 zap. Give him a second. Whoop. There he goes.
Oh.
Oops, they shot the ship. Right.
Now,
so
can they still see
yeah,
me?
let's see. Let's see. Because this is a big change if they've changed this. They fixed it. They fixed it.
So they reset?
That's a claim to fame. Yep, they've reset. They can no longer see optically or IR or radar. I just need to test the IR manually. Could you just land for a second?
Oh, uh-oh.
I'll see. We've talked about you showing off, haven't we? Why don't you get in a new vehicle and calm down?
Let me get a new one.
You get a new one and calm down, please. We've got radar here, I'll say. Now, they've got the same problem. You need to come towards me or away because along the longitudinal axis. So can you stay low but fly away, please?
Fly away behind...
Yep.
I'll fly away from the ship.
Yeah, but be technically
There
airborne.
we go. Alright. Flying away.
Ah, that's interesting. I can see you on radar, even though so there's no... This is interesting. There's no line of sight check for radar here. Right. So optically, it now does do that.
If I get really close to the ship, is it the same?
Yeah, yeah. Hang on. I'm just thinking at the moment what we do next. Right. If you can pop yourself out to make yourself visual, please. I don't care how. Probably up. And down again, please. Yep, I see how it works. Okay, IR is not blocked. IR is not blocked. That's all our data, RC. That's all our data got. Could you please exit the server? Welcome back, valued viewers. I'm sorry if that was a bit of a blur, but that's just how we do things. So, we now have our data, and I'm relatively happy with it. Things have changed since I last checked, maybe a year ago, whatever that was, which is good to see. So, in the optical light spectrum, now, terrain, map objects, static objects, and dynamic objects, which are movable, block human and AI optics. So, AAA can't shoot through a ship anymore. A tank can't shoot through a ship anymore. Great. I'm happy with all of that. Fine. Next, radar. Radar will block human and IE function if it's terrain, if it's map objects, if it's static objects. If it's a dynamic object, in this case we chose a ship because it can move but might not necessarily be moving, it does not block the human radar. I can still see RC perfectly through the dynamic object. I can see him moving away and coming towards me. The AI, we're not 100% sure. To really understand what was going on there, we'd have to know exactly how that AI is programmed. What happened was the AI could see him, in terms of radar, when he was away from the ship, and then when he moved back in to the cover of the ship, the AI lost the track. Now, I'm not 100% sure that if that's because he lost a radar track, or because if he did a secondary check and said, this is the kind of thing that ED would program, it's kind of cheeky little idea. What they might have said is, oh, so he's gone behind an object, do an optical check, and therefore lose your radar lock as well. That's very possible, and a perfectly good way of programming. It's going to save on processors just to do the visual check, and then not have to go back and do the radar check. I hope that kind of makes sense. That's how it's ticking over in my head right now. So I put the amber. Not sure, possibly not even testable for the reasons that we just said there. Remember, this is AI only. So maybe. I think it's the best we're going to get with that. My gut feeling is it's the same as human. It probably can still see through the vehicle, but they've probably put a fancy little check in. An EO is the same. I can get an EO function through a dynamic object. AI, we're not 100% sure exactly the same. My gut feeling is it probably can. Again, they probably put a cheeky fix in to say, okay, if the optical check fails, then just break the EO. That would, again, be the most efficient way of programming that, as far as I'm aware. And that's it. Let me know if you've got any problems with that, but I get the feeling everyone's going to agree on this one. Pretty good job all round. Anything to add, RC?
Nope, nothing.
Good. Hope that's useful and see you later.